Lieutenant General PJS Pannu. Lieutenant General PJS Pannu is a Param Vishisht Seva medalist. He has commanded 71 Infantry Division on the line of control with China and commanded the corps deployed in Pakistan and China. He is the chairman of the Executive Committee of think tank organizations who have been providing national-level inputs to the government on issues relating to national security. He has worked relentlessly towards finalizing the draft bill for the Indian Defence University. He is currently pursuing his PhD in indigenization of defence industry for modernization of the armed forces. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Lieutenant General PJS Pannu to inspire us with his worthy words.
Please, sir, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jai Hind. I'm very happy that I'm going to have the last word, and I'm going to shift the paradigm to not to 5 trillion economy, but I'll take you back in history, and then we will take our steps forward and come back to what we are talking about. Historically, we all talk about that India was Sone ki chidiya. Oh, Sone ki chidiya kaun le gaya? Where is the Sone ki chidiya? If we had Sone ki chidiya, we could have kept it. Why did we lose it? Who took it from us? Are we Indians so weak and naive that we had the wherewithal to have a Sone ki chidiya and we lost it? Or did something happen that we could not comprehend? And today we are standing at a time and place in the world where we are trying to build a Sone ki chidiya, but are we preparing for that occasion where Sone ki chidiya again will be targeted by people and taken away from you? Have you prepared for it? You haven't prepared for it. What is the role of armed forces? The role of armed forces is not to earn money for the nation. Well, we are one of the largest spenders of money of the nation. But what the armed forces will give you in the bargain is life. Survivability, sustainability, peace, based on which you shall have prosperity. In the morning, you would have woken up, you would have looked into your mobile phone. Those who are not living with the family would have rung up people, or maybe at night, you ring up, Mom, are you all right? Dad, are you all right? Son is somewhere else, are you all right? First we do that in the morning, and once everything is okay, sab theek hai, sab khairiyat se hai, then we start going to our job in that mood where now we can talk about prosperity and do our business as usual. But the moment we do not hear from your near and dear ones that things are not okay, will you go and do your normal business of the day? No. Everything will come to standstill. The Indian Armed Forces provide 3 things to the nation. We are the skin of the nation because we take the beating on our face. We are the skeleton of the nation based on which we provide a hard frame on which the mighty nation stands. We are the immune system of the nation that no external disease can touch us. And today, with the announcement of the Chief of Defense Services, we are also somewhere the cerebral part of decision-making of the Indian government. Thanks to the present government that we've been given the power of the CDS so that we can decide the fate of the armed forces, which shall decide the fate of a country in a manner that I have explained. One is that when you talk about the national security, well, national security is something that is loosely spoken about. National security is not about defending the nation. National security is about defending every resource that is available to the nation to be used for building the nation. But the resource can only be used if the resource is there. Nobody should take the resource away from you. The British came, the traders came, the East India went into the Bengal province. They brought the East India Company army along with it. Then they went into the trade practices which were unfair and biased, in which British took the advantage of every trade that they did in our country. Followed by the imperial forces of the British, and the Queen's battalions landed up here. All the princely states were fighting with one another. All the princely states wanted appeasement with the British, one after the other. All the princely states kept a battalion which could be used, a fighting battalion which could be used for the British to secure their prosperity and happiness. Who paid for it? The princely states paid for it. We built battalions for the British to use. Then comes First World War. In First World War, we had maximum number of Indian soldiers fighting across the globe. Then comes Second World War. We had 2.1 billion strong Indian army soldiers fighting all over the globe. And then we got our independence. But when we got our independence, we forgot about one thing. To our country, we did not only get our independence. If we had just got our independence, 2.1 million soldiers in the regular battalions would have been there with us. British did not want that. On 15th August and 14th August before that, on 14th and 15th August, they separated the nation. And 1/3 of the armed forces went to Pakistan, East and West Pakistan, and rest of the armed forces came here. Now this mighty army was not only divided, but also put at loggerheads with one another. The Kashmir issue, this issue, that issue, and issue of religion and divide and rule was something which they did not need to practice. It was there, it was normal in them, that they knew how to divide the country. Then now we are independent. Now we are what we are. We have to make sure that we remain what we are, to grow and not allow the foreign powers to plan to snatch our Sone ki Chidiya, which we're trying to build. I don't have much time. Maybe in question answers we can talk about it. I talk about 5 eyes and then 2 eyes. First, I talk about the 2 eyes. You say vision to reality. I understand what it is, but it is intent to implementation. It's more focused. What is your intent? How are you going to implement it, and where is the plan? When you have a vision, you have a vision. Everybody has a vision. When you have something, reality will happen, whatever it happens. I want to do something, so let me do something or the other, and at the end of it, the reality will be whatever it is. But if we have an intent, and then we implement, it means there is something called a plan which will link these 2 eyes, intent and implementation. I suppose that is the catch which we have to look at. Now I speak about the 5 eyes, and 5 eyes will look half of it as military jargon, but it is intended. The first is information. Second is intelligence. Third is integration. Fourth is innovation. And fifth is investment. It may not necessarily go in this sequence, but information and intelligence will go in that sequence. When you are a Sone ki Chidiya, sitting in Indore, the borders are very far. This is not my first time that I'm visiting Indore. Well, I have served all along to all the borders, Pakistan, China, in Tawang, in Ladakh. That is my last command that I had, where I had 2 frontiers to deal with, Pakistan and China together. I've looked at the enemy in the eye, and we come back and tell the story, he is there. You haven't seen it, I have seen. He has ill will. He kills. He wants to take away your territory. I have seen it. I can tell you the story. Indore is too far. But most of the military officers come to Mao for training. First time I came to Mao in 1983, then I came to Mao in 1987, then I came in 93, and last I did my high command course was in 2003. And of course now I come here for whatever, to deliver a talk or talk to the students there in the War College. This is the place where a lot of Saraswati takes place. A lot of Saraswati takes place. But the Saraswati that a soldier carries from here does not convert into Lakshmi. We have no Lakshmi. I've been on a salary for all 40 years of my service. I haven't asked for anything more. In fact, an army officer is not even supposed to check his payslip. He's not even supposed to check his total of the mess bill, because he trusts that what is the final figure is there, and then we just cut out a check and give it. But when now we talk about investment and economy and business and what we should do, I suppose now it is another business, because world does not want you to grow. Would China want you to grow? No. Would Pakistan want you to grow? No. Would some other countries that I don't want to name, who come with a lot of nice black suits and do good dealing with us and sit on a high table and talk about it, do they want you to do well? No. Then who shall do this charity to ourselves? We, ourselves. And we have to do this charity in this environment where nations and adversaries in that are working overtime and spending huge amount of budgets of their country to make sure that you do not win and you do not become Sone ki Chidiya. And I don't think so we should be oblivious of that. There is a huge amount of resistance that nobody wants India to grow. You look at the world map, India stands out as one of the most prominent countries. And if somebody has to speculate by the look at the map, say, this country shall do very well. It has got ocean, 7,000 kilometers of coastline. It has got Himalayas, flowing rivers. It has got desert. It's got rivers flowing into jungles, wildlife, everything is there. This world will look at India from that point of view, that whatever you do, this country shall grow. But if we become complacent, which we did in the past, even today, as I say, how many, you all see the military, how many of you really know the military of yours? So, one of the things that military does is also image building of the nation. One of the things also military does is give the strength and support. It's a sword arm of governance and sword arm of diplomacy. If our ambassadors go and sit on the high table, if you have a weak military, whatever logic they are speaking shall not be understood by anybody and nobody will give credence to it. But imagine the most powerful nation, huge military, the leader can just about say anything. People will take him seriously, and you know what I'm talking about. He gets up from any side, he says anything, last joke that he read, he gives it out as policy, but world looks at him as the authority because he's going to do it. He's got a strong military behind him. Well, somebody else does it. This is a joker. Don't take him seriously. He's stupid. Hit him. Overrun him. Ladies and gentlemen, our nation, even today, is at war. It has always been at war. Why you do not know about it? Because the military protects you. We have fought 47, 48, we had Kashmir operations. 61, we had Goa operations, liberation of Goa. 62, China attacked us, we lost war because we were not prepared. 65, Pakistan attacked us because they thought that we are bleeding now, we are down to our knees. 71, Pakistan attacked us. And in 71, we got over 90,000 prisoners of war of Pakistan, and that is when he actually stopped from waging major wars. If we had not won it like this, ladies and gentlemen, we would have paid for being weak time and over again after 1971 if we had not taken 93,000 prisoners of war. But he did not stop. He again attacked us at Kargil in 1999, now using irregular troops. Our line of control is active. Our line of actual control is also active. 50,000 kilometers of active deployment of the military. Ladies and gentlemen, second largest armed forces in the world. Pakistan is 7th largest in the world. China is the 1st largest in the world. All put together, almost 17% of the military of the world is on our borders. We are 3 nuclear-armed nations. We are at proxy war with Pakistan. We have a problem in the northeast, which is supported by the Chinese, abetted by the Chinese. We've had these problems. And today, we are fighting a gray zone war in which there is a contact war and there is a non-contact war. Well, we fight the contact war. You all fight the non-contact war. All your data loaded on your smartphones and your banking systems. The airlines are on critical infrastructure. Your power grids are on critical infrastructure. All these critical infrastructures, which is on a network-centric platforms, have been attacked a couple of times. And imagine if one day you go to your bank or you open your account in the bank, you find there's no money in it. What will you do? Or one day you realize that the money that you have has got no value. We have in national security strategy, one of the things is irrelevance. The nations, the leaders, the currency, the systems can be rendered irrelevant. You have lost everything. How will you know that whether you are 5 trillion or not? Because your currency can get devalued. Your exchange rates, your trade restrictions, your system of governance. In the world, there have been regime changes. You know what's happened? That there is a serving general of one country, goes and visits as a state guest to another country and is hit by a drone attack by another country. There is Stuxnet, which happens in Iraq. Their entire nuclear program was wiped out. There are attacks on people, you know, WannaCry. There are hundreds and hundreds of attacks which are happening. Trojan attacks are happening. But those are attacks which are happening only for practice. They are not attacking because they will attack when they want to attack. And they will attack when there is a natural calamity of a war. Then the systems will be down. I remember in 1971 war, we used to have blackout. The hooter used to go up and people used to buy black paper and stick it on the window panes. Light ki wo roshni bahar nahi jani chahiye. And drawing pins used to be put to stick these black papers. Overnight, our own traders took the prices, they hiked the prices of this black paper and drawing pin. I remember you could not afford to buy a drawing pin because our traders hoarded everything. They put sugar underground, they put everything underground. How are you going to survive this country tomorrow if you're not going to have discipline and loyalty? So therefore, one of the I's that I was talking about is integration. I remember Swami Nityaji, he visited me in Ladakh. And he spent some time with me, and I was very happy listening to his discourse. Before he left, I presented to him a trophy. And the name of the trophy with the theme was Synergy. There is a horse running on gallop, and a warrior on a horseback is going to the objective. The warrior or the rider does not speak the same language as the horse does. Yet the communication between the rider and the horse is perfect. This is the ideal example of synergy. that the horse goes where exactly the warrior riding the horse wants to take the horse. He has to reach his objective. They don't speak the same language. They don't belong to the same class of species. Yet they will go to the objective because the communication is perfect. So therefore, anywhere in the world, the battles have been lost due to lack of synergy. And because of synergy, our commanders have been able to win in the battlefields. So I will leave it here for one or two things more which I'll add to it to say that if our country is having these kind of challenges, we are the second largest armed forces in the world, but we do not make our own equipment. 70% of the equipment that a country has for war fighting is imported because we could not produce it here. We could not produce it to the satisfaction of our own soldier and our own military. We have 50 research and development organization laboratories, DRDO. We have 41 ordnance factories. And they have been there for decades and decades together. But they have not given us that kind of a satisfactory equipment because our matches are not Indian. Our matches are international. We don't have to compete with anybody in India. We have to compete with foreign armies. And we have to pitch ourselves with the equipment, with the manpower, with the motivated soldiers at the international level. How can we give them bows and arrows or something, a gun which is inferior or would fail in the battlefield? We are having the toughest battlefield conditions in the world. I commanded the highest battlefield on the earth and I've seen equipment fail. And once you see equipment fail, you feel terrible about it. That a man was just about to shoot the intruding enemy and the bullets got stuck because now it is minus 50 degrees Celsius and the bullet did not get out of the barrel. So therefore, we have to rely on equipment which is imported. But here, for the 5 trillion economy, we have a huge, huge make in India opportunities. It's not that we produce only for the armed forces. I think we can produce for the world because we have the toughest battlefield conditions in the world. Whatever equipment passes muster here shall be the best considered equipment in the world. So therefore, in India, we have a powerful, we have a very professional army. We need to be supported by the defense industry. It is not that the defense industry supports us. I think we will be able to make a big difference and add to 5 trillion economy if we become net defense exporters. And whatever we earn from the defense industry should actually give us huge amount of contribution to the GDP from where we can draw the GDP and give a defense budget to it. Or we can have large defense budget. Normal figure is that a country should have 3% of the GDP allocated to the defense. We have never gone above 2, and last year we had 1.6% of the GDP. We have to provide safety. We have to provide assured security to those who are aspiring to build this nation to 5 trillion economy. I wish you all the best, but it is the discipline which will take this nation. And the anecdote which I'll tell you before I leave, Havaldar Jang Bahadur, who became a JCO in front of me, I was a second lieutenant, first time we joined the academy. He said, "Saab, आप 2 किस्म का मर्डर कर सकता है, वो नहीं करना है। जो दुश्मन को मारना वो हम सिखाएंगे, लेकिन 2 किस्म का मर्डर कभी नहीं करना है। एक तो समय का मर्डर, क्योंकि समय का मर्डर में आप 2 लोगों का मर्डर करता है। आप अपना मर्डर किया क्योंकि आपने टाइम पे नहीं पहुंचा। दूसरा, आपने उन लोगों का मर्डर किया जो आपके लिए वेट किया। दूसरा, आपने जो आपका तहजीब, आपका यूनिफॉर्म है, उसको ठीक पहनना है, क्योंकि आपने झंडे को उठाना है और आपने झंडे का मर्डर नहीं करना है। आप एक ऐसा सैनिक है जो राजपथ के ऊपर चलेगा और दुनिया बोले ये हमारी शान है। जय हिंद, लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन।
Standing ovation for the general, please. Great.